So, Ben, I have a question about my skin. With everything
Yes.
I've been doing, and I'm feeding with the foods I have here at home, and I'm doing everything possible within what I have in the do-it-yourself world, but I still have dry skin. Why would
Okay,
that
good.
be?
Interesting. Well, you're hypothyroid, right?
I
You told me you're
am.
hypo. Okay, got it. Okay, so are you noticing a color change to your skin? Are you noticing like an appearance change to your skin?
Not very much.
Not very much of an appearance. Texture change?
I've got to touch. Not
Texture change.
not very much either.
Okay, well, you should be noticing a significant difference, but you're not you're missing the key point.
Yeah,
You're only doing the exercise part. You're not doing the nutriating part,
yeah.
right? What are you doing to nutriate the skin?
I will. I make a serum with different oils that are face
You're doing
friendly. Yeah,
you're
I
not
know.
doing anything to nutriate the skin.
No, I don't
See,
have anything.
but you are doing the aggressive part.
Yeah.
So that's counterproductive. Remember, I don't know if I said this. I should have said this. It's maximally productive to use nutrients on your skin after you work it out, and it's counterproductive to not use nutrients on your skin if you're going to work it out.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
I
It's the
do.
opposite. It's not neutral. It's the opposite. Because what you're doing is you're creating a energy suck. You're creating a need for energy and not providing the energy. This is what nutrients do. They fuel the process. This is what vitamins do to the skin. They fuel the process of growth. They carry the electrical energy that is being required to get the growth. So you're making the skin grow. You're whipping it into shape, right?
Uh-huh.
And that's basically what you're doing. But you're not providing the nutrients. Your cells love you, but you're not feeding them.
Right.
You're not doing the second part, and that's very important. So you may want to be careful about that first end. But the hypothyroid link is very important. You know, we're talking about skincare here, and I love skincare, and I love working with the skin. But so much of this is inside. So much of this is internal. The skin is first of all, there's nothing local really in the body. This is a really important concept. We have this way of looking at local spots: the thyroid, the pancreas, the skin, the eyes, the brain. That's not how the body works. It's not a local issue. If you have a skin problem, you have a body issue. And so we got to address that. We're used to smearing stuff on, and we're talking about topical things that'll work. And this is very important. As we said in the last video, you compartmentalize, and your skin your internal organs will get the nutrients before your skin does. And if you can put something on the skin, you can get some benefits, for sure. But understanding the internal milieu of the body is the key, and that is not a skin issue. If you got dry skin, you got an internal problem. Hello, you're hypothyroid. The hypothyroid stimulates sebum production. The hypothyroid stimulates nutrient absorption. The hypothyroid stimulates even skin division. The thyroid stimulates cholesterol production, which is important for the skin. There's so many levels where the thyroid plays a role in skin health. Multiple levels. So if you're hypothyroid, of course you're going to have a skin problem.
Yeah.
Clearly. So we got to address the thyroid.
Okay.
So how do you address the thyroid? Oh, you take iodine. No, that's not how you address the thyroid. The iodine is necessary for the thyroid, absolutely. But that doesn't mean that you just take iodine for your thyroid. I hear so many people say, well, I'm taking iodine. The thyroid is connected to other systems. And as it turns out, the thyroid is almost like a bridge between the foundation of bodily breakdown and every other health disease you can name. It's the connecting point. It's the jumping off point. So there's a foundation, then there's a jumping off point, and then everything follows. Heart disease, cancer, skin issues, digestive problems, osteoporosis, autoimmune, everything.
I know so many people with hypothyroid.
Everything follows. The thyroid regulates everything. It's the regulator. You know, TR, the regulator. Every cell in the body responds to the orders from the thyroid. That's how it happens. That's how stuff happens in a cell. Every cell responds to messages that are coming from this master gland. And so when it's suppressed, everything is suppressed. Everything with a capital E. I don't know how much clearer I could be here.
Yeah.
Every single thing is suppressed. You down-regulate everything. So that means everything's going to follow. Every disease follows. So the question is, how do we take care of the thyroid?
Yeah.
Well, you go underneath to the two foundational levels, which are the digestive system and then the blood sugar system. When the digestive system breaks down and the blood sugar breaks down, instantly the thyroid is affected. However, I shouldn't say instantly. because unfortunately, to confuse the issue, there's it's actually the adrenal thyroid complex.
Yep.
And what happens is the adrenal glands are your stress glands. When you have blood sugar problems, you have stress problems, because blood sugar is the biggest emergency, or one of the most major emergencies to the body. So when you have high blood sugar from eating the wrong kinds of food, and low blood sugar from eating the wrong kinds of food, or from poor digestive and dietary strategies, your adrenal glands take the load. They help balance things out via the hormone cortisol. And over time, the thyroid starts to slow down. The thyroid is your regular energy gland. Your adrenal glands are your emergency energy gland. So your thyroid, under the best of circumstances, your thyroid takes care of everything. But when you're under chronic stress from the bad blood sugar, from, as it turns out, the bad digestive system, eventually the thyroid starts to slow down, and that's when you go into hypothyroid. So behind hypothyroidism, you're going to find, this is what you're always going to find, you're going to find hyperadrenal activity long term. You're going to find hormone cortisol problems. You're going to find blood sugar problems. And you're going to find digestive issues, especially around the absorption of fats, but all kinds of digestive issues. So you want to, how do you handle it? How do you handle hypothyroid? First, it's not complicated. Every single disease state or pathological state that the body has should follow this protocol, no matter what it is. Okay. You correct digestive problems. First and foremost, you correct digestive issues. If you have hypothyroidism, if you have osteoporosis, if you have cancer, if you have acne, if you have MS, if you have Parkinson's disease, if you have any of the 12,800 different diseases, how could you possibly have 12,800 different diseases? Or, you know, there's 1,000 skin diseases. How could you have 1,000 things that your skin is 1,000 ways your skin screws up? You know, it doesn't make sense. You know, it's crazy, right? It doesn't. It just breaks down. So, in any case, you go. No matter what the problem is, you go to the digestive system and you patch that up. You go to the digestive system. That's the core. Do you know what the core of the core is?
No.
The essence of the essence, the essence of the essence. The digestive system is the essence of all problems. Yeah. But there's an essence to the essence, the core of the core, and that's the gut bacteria, the microbiome, they call it. And every day, literally every day, there's a new study that talks about how important the microbiome is. The microbiome, the bacteria that live in the gut, are constantly communicating to our cells. They're talking back and forth to our cells. They're sharing genes. Bacteria give us genes. We have bacterial genes. They give them to us. How do you like this? Yeah, right?
I've never heard of that before.
Right? This is all, you know, they're discovering this every day pretty much, you know, new stuff like this. You know, in any case, that's a whole nother story that we don't have to get into. But then when you have a thyroid problem, one of the interesting things about the thyroid is because the thyroid regulates the digestive system. Yeah. If you have a digestive problem and then a blood sugar problem and then a thyroid problem, it turns into a big circle. Because the thyroid then hypothyroidism messes up your digestion even more. Yeah. So anyway, so people who are hypothyroid start off with a digestive issue, and then it gets even worse over time. So what you have to do is you absolutely have to correct the digestive system. You have to correct the microbiome, fermented foods, probiotics. Sometimes you have to mix your probiotics. You got to find a good probiotic supplement that works for you. Sometimes you got to have different doses on the probiotics. You got to play with it. Fermented foods. Get a book on fermenting and ferment. Then you want to start to patch up the digestive system. Algae, the Z-radical from Longevity, that's an algae product. One of the reasons that's so effective for the digestive system is because it helps soothe the digestive tract. There's sugars that these algae make. Seaweed is great for the digestive system. They're mucilaginous sugars that coat the digestive system. Cartilage products are great for the digestive system. This is all for the thyroid. Yeah. This is, you know, if you go to a doctor for the thyroid, they're going to say, oh, you're hypothyroid, here's some iodine, here's some Synthroid. This is crazy. What all that's going to do, and this is why Synthroid doesn't even work, all that does is it revs up the system, and then the system compensates and slows down more, and you have to raise your dose on your Synthroid. So when you get to the core of this thing, you start to really make changes. So anyway, so you, mucilaginous ingredients, a bone soup, think cartilage kinds of things. Okay. There's a supplement called glutamine you could use. I call it the digestive protocol. Aloe, noni. There's lots of ways to do the digestive system. Then you make sure you're stabilizing the blood sugar system. Okay. The blood sugar system is stabilized with more protein and less sugar, obviously. Bread, pasta, all those kinds of foods. Don't try to force yourself away from them. Those kinds of foods. You got to wean yourself off of those kinds of foods, and then do it with protein. The more protein you eat, the more less you're going to crave sugars. There's some really interesting chemistry behind that, but the fact is, we eat sugar through our brain. That's how we eat sugar, is through our brain. We eat all food through our brain, not just sugar, but sugar we eat through our brain. So we can hack into that if we want to, and eating more protein is a great hack. Coconut oil is also another interesting trick for cutting off of sugar, and so is apple cider vinegar, for that matter.
Okay.
So, and cinnamon too, now that I think about it. But whatever, weaning yourself off of sugar, stabilizing your sugar, doing nutrients that help your body metabolize sugar, chromium, vanadium, the B vitamins. There's a lot of nutrients that can help you with blood sugar. And then third, on the adrenal issue, relax, lighten up, breathe. Take hot baths. Yes, meditate. Absolutely, absolutely. The adrenal component, you need, if you still have your digestive problems and you have your blood sugar problems, the adrenal glands will biochemically kick in. So you want to work on those as foundations, but you also want to do the adrenal things. Activate the parasympathetic nervous system. Have we ever talked about the stress nervous system?
We haven't talked about that.
You got two nervous systems. You got a stress nervous system and you got a relaxation nervous system. The stress nervous system is the sympathetic nervous system, and behind all disease states, you're going to find a hyperactive sympathetic nervous system, and then typically a hypothyroid, and then all your diseases. So you really want to learn how to relax that stress nervous system, and there's a lot of ways to do it. Hot water can do it. Listening to your breathing, or listening to your your heartbeat or your pulse, if you can feel your pulse. Anytime you go internal and listen to part of any of your rhythms, you'll automatically activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the relaxation nervous system. So if you can't sleep, which is a classic sign of stress nervous system energizing, you want to relax, listen to your breaths, count your breaths, any kind of paying attention to your body. Hot tubs are great. Water is great. Showers are great. Why do you think people get great ideas in the shower?
Yeah.
Right? Because you're activating the parasympathetic. You're getting more blood to the frontal areas, the more intelligent areas of your brain, and away from the reptilian area. So working on the adrenal glands is also very important, actually through the brain, in addition to through the blood sugar, and in addition to through correcting digestive issues. And guaranteed, and then of course get on the Mighty 90, make sure you're getting enough iodine, all that stuff for sure. Guaranteed you'll notice results. Okay. Now, we didn't talk about the autoimmune component. A lot of times people have hypothyroidism. There's an autoimmune component, which is a type of digestive disorder. And so if that's the case and they're going into autoimmunity, chances are they have autoimmune issues in other places, or at least are developing them, and this can help. This kind of protocol can help protect the entire body.
So
just as an aside.
Basically, thyroid problems, digestive problems, autoimmune problems, I mean, just all of these, if you follow the same protocol, eventually you're going to get to healthiness.
You're going to get better, yes. You're going to get better. And if you're not getting better, you're missing something. Okay. Because here's the premise. It's in the body's nature to heal.
Yeah.
It's in the body's nature to heal. Now, if you have... you're born because you didn't have the right genetic makeup when you were a kid, when you're being formed in the womb, and you're born a certain way, there's certain limitations that you're going to have. But if you follow this protocol, this is how the body works. You're just doing what the body wants. So no matter what your health issue is, it's going to get better. It has to.
Yeah.
Because this is the nature of the body. You feed it, you stabilize it, you make sure you're breathing correctly, you're giving it the raw materials, the oxygen, and blowing off toxicity, and it does the rest for the most part. It doesn't really need any interfacing. Now, it's a little more complicated than that because of how we eat. We've created a world, and also how we live. We've created a toxic world where the body is really loaded, and we've created a sedentary world where we're encouraged to sit and not move our system around, and we've encouraged a world of processed food that is completely different to the millions of years, and at least 500,000 years, where the human body has been alive in the last 200 years. So what do you expect? In 200 years, the body's got to figure out how to change its entire MO that it's been having for 500,000 years.
Sadly, people are consuming foods that aren't really food, so the body can't even read it.
It doesn't even know what it is. It's plastic. The fats that we eat today, they're plasticized.
Yeah.
And so they're a type of plastic. They're a type of creation. And so the body has no way of doing anything with it. They even exploit that phenomena with sugars, fake sugar. They'll get this fake sugar that is so distorted the body will excrete it, and they say, "Oh, there's your sweetener." You know, it's
Yeah.
non-toxic because your body. It's called sucralose. That's what sucralose is. It's like a twisted, distorted form of sugar, and it's so disgusting your body doesn't want it. But it happens to stimulate a little area in the tongue that's responsible for the sweet taste. So, you know, they'll exploit this phenomena of food distortion, and they're proud of it, really.
Yeah.
But the point is that we live in a world where we're stuck. You know, we're stuck eating that kind of food. Look, what are you going to do with seafood? Seafood is one of the most valuable foods you could possibly eat, right?
Yeah.
But now, only God knows what the fish are eating.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they have to carve the tumors out of the fish before they sell it. You know. You know, so what are you going to do? So you do what you can do. You do what you can do. This is all, to me, this is all the more reason why you want to focus on nutrition.
Yeah.
Is the fact that we do live on a toxic world, and the fact that we are condemned to a certain amount of food toxicity. You know, we are condemned to having to live that way. So that's even more the reason that you do your selenium and your sulfur and your vitamin C and your essential fatty acids, and you reduce your food intake. And you breathe, and you control all these places where you can control, so that you can at least make it to 80 or 90 and not fall apart. Instead of 120, which is what we should be, at least probably.
Right.
You'll get to 80 or 90. Don't fall apart. You know, we have to set the bar a little lower.
Yeah.
You know, just because we're idiots and we've created a world like this. But be that as it may, you don't want cancer. You know, we live under this sword of Damocles, really, of cancer and heart disease, and and that's what we really want to stay away from as best as we can. We want to, at least, if we're going to live under the sword of Damocles, we want to at least have a strong. You know, his dad. You know the story of the sword of Damocles. He was condemned to be the king, and this guy named Damocles was condemned to be the king, and there was a sword that was hanging by a horse's hair over his head as he sat in the throne as the king. And this is a Greek myth about don't always want to be the king. Yeah. But in any case, the idea is the sword of Damocles is the sword that we all live under. So we're living under this sword. So at least make it not a horse's hair thread. Make it a rope. Make it a cable. And you do that through all the things that we're talking about. And so the bottom line to hypothyroidism is just the manifestation of a root problem that we have tremendous control of, that we're not exploiting and not taking advantage of. And we really can. We can all do it ourselves.
Well, there's a lot to think about now.
Okay, good.
Definitely. And I know there's a lot of people who will listen to this who are already halfway on the path to eating better and nutrifying their body with the Mighty 90, and taking the Z
90 essential essential nutrients.
Yes.
90 essential.
The 90 essential nutrients. And I know a lot of us are getting better, but there's so much to learn. And we thank you for sharing all this information with us. And we're just going to continue to pick your brain and try to get better.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Good
well,
to
thank you so much. You have a great day. Bye.
Bye.